Let me take you to June 1976 in Philadelphia. The 13 colonies on a North American continent, mostly on the eastern seaboard, were invited to send 3 delegates from each colony to Philadelphia to discuss the relationship with the mother country, Great Britain. They asked 3 from each one of the colonies to make sure that the colony itself would not come up deadlocked, but they would come up with a solid responsibility and indication of which way they wanted to go, whether they wanted to stay with Great Britain, the mother country, or whether they wanted to be free and independent. So they debated for 3 or 4 months, and finally John Hancock, the chairman of this group, asked for a vote just to see where they were. They decided to make the vote successful. They had to have 9 of the 13 colonies approve this. So they voted. New York, as usual, vacillated because the delegates figured that they didn't have the proper authority from the people living in that colony. The vote was tallied. Delaware was tied, 1-1. What was the total votes? 8. They did not reach the majority of 2/3. And they said, where's the 3rd delegate from Delaware? They said, he's home in bed, sick, a farmer in Delaware. Send a runner after him aboard a horse. It took the horse and rider 2 days to reach the bed, the sick bed of Caesar Rodney. Rodney took the message and said, I must go to Philadelphia. He ordered a horse to be mounted, saddled and mounted, and then he rode 2 miles to reach Independence Hall in Philadelphia and cast the vote for Delaware, making it 9-13. Caesar Rodney, the power of one man, created a new nation. Let me take you to August 1853, a little further west in the United States, to the Oregon Territory. 5 nations declared possession of that nation: Russia, France, Great Britain, Spain, and the United States. Russia was having problems at home, so they withdrew. France was having problems reconstructing after Napoleon. They withdrew. Spain was having trouble as the biggest landowner in the world. They couldn't protect all of their territory, so they withdrew. What did the United States and Great Britain do? The normal thing you do is go to war. But what does that do? It just creates enemies. It just creates more people to be in cemeteries. So let's try something else, a little more civilized. So it was directed that all of the people in the territory of Oregon would assemble and vote which way they wanted to go. The assembly was held on the Willamette River in western Oregon, in a little trading center called Champoeg, which was established by the French voyageurs. And so they counted all of the people, and who could vote? Only the men could vote. And when they counted the men, there was 100 of them. 100 in that great territory. So finally the chairman of the group said, let's go outside. It's a warm day. Let's go outside and talk about this some more. And so they did it, and after a couple of hours, he said, I think we're coming to a vote. Stand where you are. And he marched forward and drew with the toe of his boot a line right across the center of the 100 people standing there. And he said, stay where you are, and then you're going to vote with your feet. 100 men standing there in a large group. And he said, on this side, those for Great Britain, come over here. Those for the United States, go over there. I'll give you 2 minutes. He timed it, and after 2 minutes, stop. Every man was on one side or the other. Count the votes. The votes were counted. 49 for Great Britain, 51 for the United States. One man created a new complete continent on North America, the power of one. Oregon Territory. May I take you to May of 1868 to the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. It's an unusual happening in the U.S. Capitol for that few weeks. The Justice of the Supreme Court, if you read the Constitution of the United States, says he will serve as a judge in any act of impeachment against the President of the United States. So Justice Salmon P. Chase took that opportunity and sat as the presiding jurist against the impeachment of Andrew Johnson, the President of the United States. And so what was the final vote? Did not reach the majority of 2/3. The Democrats asked for a stay of 10 days, and they would debate it among themselves, and maybe some of the Republicans would come over on their side. The vote was taken. It was one man short of a 2/3 majority. So one man prevented the impeachment of the President of the United States. The power of one. Going to go up to the simple age of what, representative of many of you, was the presidential election of 1960 against two members of the United States Senate, Richard Nixon from California, John F. Kennedy from Massachusetts. They debated and debated. It was a hot debate, as many of us will remember. The vote came in November, and it took 2 or 3 days to tabulate that vote. And no one was really sure who was the President of the United States. The vote was so close, so very close, that if one person in each one of the precincts in the United States has changed his vote, Richard Nixon would have been the President of the United States, and JFK would have remained a Democratic senator. One man in each precinct changed that election so that JFK become your president. In order to achieve the power of one, you must first know, understand, and practice the 10th point of the Scout Law. A scout is brave. I took this scout oath. I took the Scout Law in front of my scoutmaster, and every boy who was 12 years old, my time as scouting, had to know the Scout Law by memory. Know what it means. Know what it means. But memorize it so you know what the word is. And to this very day, I remember those words as I gave them to my scoutmaster. You need to actively follow this absolute value. Once this is learned, you begin to develop the power of one. In each one of us, there burns a flame of integrity and independence that must never be allowed to burn out. As long as it exists within us, we can be the power of one. You are the power of one. Start small. Dan Beard, one of the founders of the Boy Scouts of America, say, take care of all of the small things first, and the big things will take care of themselves. But start small. Start small in your own troop. Start small in your own lodge. Help make your lodge a quality lodge. There are not too many quality lodges in this country. Develop, of course, a better ceremonial team, which is the heart of the Order of the Arrow. Don't waste your time this week with idle things, but look at the heart of the ceremonies of the Order of the Arrow. Take some of the inductions and ceremonial sessions this week in order to deliver the best in ceremonies. You only have one chance with those new candidates, and that chance should be the best that you can possibly do. You will truly be the power of one if you work with your ceremonial team, with your lodge administration, with your section officers. And so I say to you, on my 55th anniversary in the Order of the Arrow, good luck on developing the power of one. Good luck, good night, we will meet again.